Hey everybody, David here. How are you? Well, today I want to tell you guys a little story. It's a story about how I learned English, okay? I was talking to a student today and it made me remember this story, and I thought, well, you know what? I'm going to share it. It's a fun story, really. I'm going to try to sum it up because it's relatively long, but some of you may know I was born here in Brazil, okay, in Sao Paulo. And when I was very, very young, around 3, 4, maybe 5, I don't remember, we moved. My father was transferred to Florida. So we had to go, me, my mom, and my dad, we had to go and live in Florida. So although I spoke Portuguese, I was actually alphabetized in English, you know, because I had to go to school there. Now, what my mom did is she put me in a normal school. It was a great little school. Sunshine Tree, I remember, and it was just the best school. Kind of like a little wooden house in the middle of the forest thing. It was great. But the thing is, she put me there, and it's a normal school. I mean, nobody spoke Spanish, nobody spoke Portuguese. It was just English, and I didn't even know English existed. I had no idea what English was. So I remember that day perfectly. My mom took me to the school, and they showed me around, and everybody saying hi, and I didn't even know how to say hi, so I just, you know, kept my mouth shut and kind of smiled awkwardly. I'm not going to remember the teacher's name, this one in particular, but my mom kind of, you know, said, take care of him, he doesn't speak English. And so, you know, my mom told me, said, listen, stay with her, she's going to take care of you, and you'll do fine. And I said, okay, well, I have no choice, so what the hell? And I just glued to that teacher all day long. Now, here's the interesting thing. Other students would come up to me and they would ask me, you know, like for example, there was this one kid, Douglas. He was the son of one of the teachers there. And on my first day of school, he came up to me and he said exactly this: do you want to play ball with us? And I had no idea what that meant. So I just, you know, looked at him and just nodded, you know, shook my head and said no, because I don't think I even knew how to say no, or I was just, you know, petrified and frightened. But I memorized what he said. So afterwards, you know, I asked my mom, and what do you want to play ball mean? And, you know, then she would tell me in Portuguese, that means you know, he's asking if you want to go play ball with the kids. And I said, okay. And then I remember the couple of other days at school, you know, I would ask my mom, for example, how do I tell him I want to go to the bathroom? That seems kind of important. And this, my mom is great. The best explanation she gave me was bathroom. You know, she kept repeating it, bathroom, bathroom. But she said, you know what? Just say pee-pee and kind of point down and do the little dance, and they'll know what you need. And I said, yeah, okay, great. And I actually did that, you know, because when you have to go, you have to go. So you're not shy. But you know, along the first couple of months that we were there, I was watching, you know, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the movie, the first one that came out, and The Simpsons, and Little Mermaid. And remember, I didn't speak a word of English. Zero. Nada. Nothing. But I would, you know, a kid's gonna enjoy a cartoon if he understands it or not. So I would pause, and then, you know, I would ask sometimes my parents, I say, you know, what does this mean? I remember today, actually, one day I asked my mother, I said, I was watching Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at somebody's house. They were having like a weekend barbecue, whatever, and I was just sitting there watching the TV. And I paused it, and I ran back, and I said, listen, what is stop? And then my mom said, stop, you know, in Portuguese, pare, stop. I'm like, oh, okay. And then I went back and paused the video and continued watching it. So that was pretty much my first 3 months. Now, I don't remember this particularly, but my mom told me that I didn't speak to anyone in English until I was fully confident that I could, which took about 3 months, give or take. So after moving there, within 3 months of just absorbing and listening and paying attention, I decided to speak. And from then on, you know, there were neighbors and there were friends and the kids at school, so I just started talking to them. And one thing kids do, which is very interesting, is that we don't care. We don't care if it's wrong. Apparently I cared because I waited 3 months. But what I'm saying is, you know, kids don't care. They listen, they absorb, this is how you say it, great, okay, I'm gonna use it. And they just start to develop with no stress. Adults, on the other hand, have a little bit more difficulty, you know. We worry about what other people will think and if it's gonna come out wrong. It's just how adults, you know, act. But it's very interesting for me to kind of remember how I picked up the language, because even at that young age, I was still worried that I would say something wrong. So I preferred to just keep quiet for 3 to 4 months until I was confident that I could communicate. Yeah, of course, you're gonna make some mistakes, but hey, that's how you learn, right? So yeah, after that, I was, you know, everything in English, obviously. I mean, I had no friends there that spoke Portuguese or Spanish, so, you know, my neighbors and the kids at school, and when I would go to their houses or field trips or whatever, always 24 hours in English, which was great. I think I only spoke Portuguese at home with my parents. And even so, more often than not, I would prefer to speak English. So, you know, that's how I ended up being alphabetized in English. And then when I came back to Brazil, I had to, you know, really study Portuguese because I was just spelling things out wrong, and, you know, because I was just based on what I heard. I never actually did a lot of reading or writing in Portuguese. And I also remember one interesting part when I was in school, and the kindergarten kids were learning how to say the weekdays, you know. And so the teacher was there, and it was just a shelf dividing us from one room to the other. So I could hear them, you know, just repeating kind of in a melody in a song, you know, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, whatever. I don't remember the song, but here you have a kid who's about 4 years old who has no idea how to say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday in English, and I'm in a group of kids my age who obviously already know all this stuff, so I'm not going to keep asking them, and nobody's going to teach me. So I would sit down, and any moment I could, I would listen to the kindergarten kids, you know, when they were doing the ABCs, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, or Monday, Tuesday, or January, February, and they were repeating the months. And I would just sit there and listen, and I would sing along. Now, I don't know about Portuguese, but I do know that everything that the kids learn in English, and I'm talking about everything, you know, when you're learning math, or when you're learning the months or the days or the weeks or hours or whatever. Even the silent E, which I did a video here about a couple of months ago, everything has a song. And it's obvious that we remember things a lot better when there's a melody. I mean, we even memorized our telephones or, you know, our social security numbers, everything with a certain rhythm. So it was fun for me to just sit down and, you know, pay attention, and then in a couple of weeks I already knew all the months and the days and the hours and how to tell time, and, you know, I had to pick up the pace because I was the odd one out. You know, I just came in a little late and not even speaking the language. But anyways, everything worked out great, and here I am 36 years later. Well, actually 34, 33 years later, teaching English, and it is my native language. Portuguese is also now my native language, but when people ask me, English came first, okay? So I hope this story helped you guys out a little bit to feel a little bit more relaxed about how to learn and how to study, and, you know, don't rush it. I was a young kid and I was still worried, but, you know, I learned. So even if you're worried now, don't worry about it, okay? Take your time. Enjoy. You have to enjoy it, okay? Enjoy studying English, and you'll do fine. You'll see that you'll develop the skills for the language in no time. All right, guys, so don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel, all right? And I'll see you next time.